It's time for another
Mindset Monday.
And this episode is all about
no well-laid plan ever survives first contact with the enemy. That's a long-winded one, right?
Yeah.
I think Mike Tyson said it better. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Now, as the Kilted coaches, we believe in making a plan and sticking to the damn plan.
However, it doesn't always work out that way.
Sometimes the plan has to be adapted, changed, modified, whatever word you want to use, really.
Yeah, and especially when you make first contact with the enemy. Now, depending on what your plan is, will depend on what the enemy is. If it's, say, going on a diet, okay, and you're trying to avoid all bad food, the enemy is bad food.
Yeah.
Or maybe a stressful situation where bad food is easily accessible. That's the enemy. And when you make first contact with the enemy, when you do have, say for instance you were on a diet, you've had a mega stressful day, you've been too busy, you skipped breakfast because you were just in a mad rush, you were too busy so you haven't had any, did I say breakfast or lunch?
You said skip breakfast.
Of course, right. Let's start that bit again.
Yeah.
So say for instance you've had a mega busy day, you've been far too much in a rush that you've skipped breakfast, you're far too busy to even have lunch, and then when you get home at night time, your boss has been on at you all day and your partner hands you a glass of wine, and it's a Monday or a Tuesday night, they hand you a glass of wine and open a packet of potato chips. That's your first contact with the enemy, and any well-laid plan will probably not survive.
I can almost guarantee it, right? Yeah. There might be other instances where, let's just say you're starting a fitness regime. You want to get fit. You're like, right, I'm going to run every single morning at 6 o'clock. I'm going to get up before work and run every day, regardless. And then you get 3 days in, and the muscles are all sore, a few niggles if you've not been running lately. And then you have a late night, either with a family member or maybe just work's held you up, or maybe there was just something good on TV. You start to struggle, and then you hit the fourth day. Now, the fourth day you might not get out of your bed. Again, the enemy is just fatigue creeping in. As much as we'd say stick to the damn plan, ultimately that plan might crumble altogether.
So I'm sat here with a big smile on my face because I'm so excited to give you this lesson, because it's such a valuable one. When you know it, you can smile all the way because you know you're going to have first contact with the enemy and your plans will go out the window. And I'm sat here with a smile on my face because I know that everybody's going to look back in situations and say, yeah, that was me. When you don't understand this lesson, there will be times ahead that you will cry. You will just say to hell with it. You'll be so upset, you'll be anxious, you'll be depressed, and you'll be upset with yourself for not sticking to the plan. But as soon as you know this principle, you think, do you know what? I was never going to stick to the plan when I make first contact with the enemy. The whole point of making first contact with the enemy is to learn from it.
Learn how you deal with that initial encounter and modify your plan to fit that new arrangement. So suddenly if you're hit day 4 and you realise that you can't get out of your bed come day 4, then you've got to modify that plan. Then maybe you don't run first thing in the morning that day. Maybe you run later that night instead on day 4, you know, or have a rest day, day 3. So yeah, it's about keeping your goal in mind as the ultimate plan, and that's what the plan, you stick to the damn plan. But you've got to modify how you get there.
Absolutely. Keep the end goal in sight, always, no matter what happens. Just because you lose a battle doesn't mean you lose the war. Okay? Keep pushing forward, keep that goal in sight, and if you've got to go around a few obstacles, if you've got to kind of take a few hits, then you take a few hits, but you learn through the process.
Otherwise you're just getting punched in the face, right?
That's otherwise you get punched in the face.
So it's interesting, so we've got the puppies, right? And when you've got them on your own, you do lots of training. That was the wind nearly changing our plan. You see that? First contact with the enemy is the elements. You know, we do lots of tricks with them. When I walk Nala on her own, she's very well behaved, follows me around, comes when called, sits, gets her lead on, off, whatever. Easy peasy, no stress.
Yeah, and exactly the same here. You know, Tilly will quite happily sit and wait so I can run away 150 metres and then call her. She'll do pause, she'll go on her belly, she waits to have her food now so she doesn't gonna just scoff it, she waits for me to tell her it's okay. You know, all these little things, they're all really, really good part of training. However,
the minute they get together, it all goes out the window.
if they had two fingers to stick up to us, they probably would, right?
Yeah.
They're like, Tilly, come! And she's just like, she doesn't even look at you. It's like, there's blinkers on. She wants to have a fight with Nala.
And that's what they do. They scrap away, and every now and again they separate, and they sort of do as they're told, but not on command, not really. You're like, come, come, and then they sort of wander, and then they come over, and you tell them to sit, and they wait for you to say it 3 times, and just...
So to highlight this point, we've made a video for you.
Yes, just to show you the perils of puppy perils. Nala, come, sit. Paw. Good girl. Lie down. Lie down. High five. High five. Boom. Good girl. Tilly, come. Good girl. Tilly, sit. Good girl. Take it nicely. Good girl. Good girl. Tilly, wait. Tilly, come. Good girl, good girl. Tilly, sit. Good girl, Tilly. Take it nicely. Tilly. Okay, you be a good girl. When we meet Nala, you be a good girl, okay? High five. Paw, other paw. Other paw. Good girl. Kisses. Good girl. So just because you've taken a hit, for whatever reason...
Yep, you will take hits along the way, but keep your eyes on the prize.
The prize is your plan.
And so our saying is still relevant here. We stick to the damn plan. It sticks. So if you stick at it long enough, the plan gets stuck to.
Oh, best of pals.